Welcome to FBB Forum. I'm very excited to welcome the stunning IFBB Women's Physique Pro, Melissa Teich. Melissa has had a big impact on the sport and has qualified for the Olympia this year by winning the Texas Pro. She has won the Arizona Pro twice and is also well known as a powerlifter. Thanks, Melissa, and thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I appreciate you coming on. So I wanted to just ask you a few questions about how you got started in bodybuilding. And I was wondering if you had an athletic or sports background before you started.
So growing up, I was always a swimmer. That was really the only sport I was good at. So I have a background, which is I like to attribute my back and my lats, my shoulders that were already developed when I started my bodybuilding career.
Yeah.
A lot of that I built swimming, which at that time I had no idea this is where I would end up. So yeah, that's primarily the sport I was involved in growing up.
That's great. Yeah, swimming does help you with shoulders and back for sure.
I'm terrible at it now, but back then I was very good.
Really? Yeah. It might be tougher now that you're more muscular, I would think.
Oh yeah, it's very hard. Yeah. I tried to do it a couple of times for cardio and I'm like, no, I'll just do the stair climber.
I understand.
A lot easier when I didn't have so much muscle mass. So
I understand. Yeah, definitely. Now, how did you get started in bodybuilding and who convinced you to do your first contest?
So when I was about 18, I got my first gym membership and I was just the average gym goer. I just show up, do a little bit of cardio, 10 minutes here, go over to the weight room. It was uncomfortable. I didn't really feel like I knew what I was doing. So I hired a personal trainer. I had a trainer for a couple of years at different gyms. And then I joined a Gold's Gym, which we no longer have here in Tucson, but at that time we did. I met a woman there who was a prep coach, probably still is at the local level.
Yeah.
And she approached me and was like, do you compete? I'm like, I don't even know what that means. So she kind of introduced me to it. And then I ended up hiring her as a prep coach and did a show here in Tucson. And then I did I believe it's called the Arizona Open. So I did those two shows in figure and I ended up winning both of them my first time out. So
oh, that's great.
That was what really struck me as I'm good at this. I should keep doing this.
Kind of got you hooked, huh?
Yeah.
What year was that, did you say?
Oh gosh, that was probably somewhere around 2012.
Oh yeah, okay, very cool. Yeah, that's great. And when did you turn pro?
2014.
2014. Yeah, that's great. And then you had kind of like a pause between in between years, I think, didn't you? With bodybuilding?
Yeah. So I turned pro in 2014. I did a couple of pro shows. I did my pro debut at the Chicago Pro in 2015. Ended up last call out. I'm pretty sure I got last place. After that, I did the Phoenix Europa. I ended up actually placing at that one. I believe I got 9th. And I think, I believe that was 2016.
Okay.
And then I did the Arizona Pro for the very first time.
Yeah.
It was either 2016 or 2017.
Okay.
Last call out, didn't do well. Also tried to prep myself for that one, which was a fail, obviously.
Oh no.
So I got a little down on myself after that. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing well at this. I need to build more muscle. And I like to lift heavy.
Yeah.
By power lifters at the gym that we own. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take a stab at the platform and see how I do there.
Okay.
So then I took a little, probably 3-year hiatus from the stage and just did powerlifting.
Okay.
And that turned out to be what I needed. So.
Yeah, you really improved your physique, I think, during that time. Yeah, you made a big difference during that time. Yeah.
I never pushed myself to that level of strength and intensity with training. So that really what I needed.
That's terrific. That's great.
Yeah.
I was curious, like, when did you first have your kind of aha, I belong here in the gym kind of moment? And because I think a lot of people kind of feel intimidated by gyms?
I did feel intimidated when I first joined the gym when I was about 18.
Mm-hmm.
Once I'd probably been in for about 2 years where I had a personal trainer. He ended up moving from one gym to another private gym um, about 2 years later. So I
Mm-hmm.
followed him to that private gym, and then I started like they would have group classes, and I was like the one in the class that could do everything the fastest. So that was where I was like, you know what, I'm freaking good at this, and then I was just hooked.
That's awesome. Yeah. And now you own a gym, so you can't be
Yeah,
intimidated by gyms anymore.
yeah. Never back then did I think this is where I would be in my future. So
Yeah. Oh, I understand that. Yeah.
yeah, like I look back and I'm like, I don't know where I thought I would be, but definitely not here.
Yeah, I understand. I don't think any bodybuilders really do,
Yeah,
they
like from where I came from to where I'm at now, I'm like, I don't know. It's blows my mind sometimes.
Oh, I totally understand. Yeah. You look great though.
Thank you.
I was curious, when was it tough for you to get up on stage in a bikini for the first time? I was thinking it'd be kind of
Oh yeah,
nerve-wracking. And do you still get nervous on stage now?
I don't get nervous now. Now I just get excited more than anything. But when I
Yeah.
was new at it and I was doing figure at the time, I'm not comfortable in high heels because I
Yeah.
don't, just not me. That's not who I am on my day to day life.
Yeah, I understand.
So trying to walk in those on stage in a bikini was a nightmare the first couple of times. I somehow still won. I don't know. Like I felt like shaking to death, but that was what made me do the switch to women's physique. Was I was like, you know what? Women's physique came out in 2013. I saw
Hmm.
and at that time I was really following Dana and Jamie Pinder, and I was like, you know what? I think I can do that division. I don't have to wear heels. I can be comfortable on stage. And then, of course, my first couple shows as physique, I was very nervous as well. But
Hmm.
over the
Yeah.
years, the times I've done it now, I don't really get nervous. More just excitement.
That's cool. Yeah. No, yeah, your posing is really good too with physique. I like the physique better because you're actually flexing and showing off your hard work and stuff
Yeah,
in a sense. Whereas figure is so limited, in terms of what you can do.
quarter, you
What's
know,
that?
just quarter turns.
Yeah, quarter turns exactly. And you don't even get much stage time even so for all that work.
Like 4 seconds of fame. Do your 4 turns, get off.
Yeah, exactly. That's not very much. Um, um, I was curious in terms of would you say is the toughest aspect of competition prep for you?
um, let's see. Probably just the restricted food I like to eat. So the no carb days or the really low days, because I mean I will push my training regardless of what is happening diet wise.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I've had days where I'm like, I have to go in for a max effort squat, but I've got no carbs today. Like this is gonna be fun. So I still have somehow my body will still push the weight and do these like extreme numbers being in such a deficit.
Really?
So for me, I would have to say the dieting on extremely low calories, but still pulling these heavy weights um, is probably the most challenging part.
What about like having some prep brain going on too? Like kind of just that,
Um,
that would be
I
tough. Or it's not that bad?
don't struggle with the prep brain thing so much, not
No?
as much as others. I mean, I did when I was new at this. I used to be an ICU nurse actually, my first 7 years of my nursing career.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
and
tough job.
yeah, and I was competing in body or in physique and
Mhm.
figure at that time.
Yeah.
And that prep brain back then, like I'd go to work, I was working nights, which I always have my whole career.
Yeah.
I'd be on very low carbs and I'm like standing in my patient's room, all these alarms are going off, and I'm just like staring at the monitor. I know what to do, but I can't even think about what to do. Like I didn't even, I just to put it simply, I was dumb. Like I
I
was,
understand.
I was here, but nobody was home.
Yeah, totally understand. That would be tough being an ICU nurse and
Yeah.
and feeling like that. You're still working, you're doing nights now?
So actually, that's new news for probably everybody listening. I ended up taking 2 months off of work
Hmm.
completely to prep for the Olympia because the flip
Right.
flopping from night shift to day shift, I never, in the past, I never really knew what a toll it was taking on my body. Like I
Hmm.
would do it and I'm like, God, I feel really crappy today, this, that, you know. But now just being on a normal schedule, going to bed at a normal hour and waking up at the same time every day, my body has responded so much better.
That's great. That's
So,
terrific.
so that
And
was the
you,
best decision I made for this prep was to take those 2 months off, and we'll see. I may not even go back. My husband doesn't want me to go back. He has other plans. He wants me to open my cookie business and just be a bodybuilder. So
that's great.
yeah.
And just so we'll talk a little bit about it later, but you work as a jail nurse now, right?
I was prior to taking these 2 months off. That's what I was doing full time. I'm still employed there at the
Yeah.
moment. I work on a per diem basis now, so I was working full time hours as a per diem staff member, uh, and then due to the Olympia, I'm like, I need to focus 100% of my attention on this. So took a couple months off.
That's good that you could do that. I'm really pleased that you could do that. That's great. Yeah, that's got to make a huge difference for you
Yeah,
to prep. Yeah.
it has been huge. Like it's night and day. Like
Mm.
I don't know, the way my body's responding now is just blowing me away. I'm like, man, I wish I had known this. All these other shows I've done, I should have taken time off. Like, been that much better.
I understand. No, yeah, you're looking really great in your IG posts, that you've been posting pretty regularly, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. Now, I know you've been working with Shelby Starnes as a prep coach, and I was curious, what advice would you give for aspiring pros who are seeking to find a good coach?
Um, do your research. Find the what I did when I found Shelby. I was following Jamie Pinder at the time, and I was like, gosh, I just love her physique. I
Yeah.
love trains. I love like back in 2013, I followed her like crazy.
Hmm.
I reached out to her and I was like, "Hey, who coaches you?" And she sent me Shelby's information, and ever since then, he's been my man.
That's great. Yeah, he's a great coach. He's got a lot of great athletes for sure.
And I'm not one to jump around. Like I know a lot of people, they have one coach, they don't like this, so they go to this other coach. I don't agree with that. I think you just need to find one and stick to it. Like jumping
Mhm.
around, oh, well, he doesn't give me carbs or he doesn't give me this. He makes me do too much cardio. It's like, no, you signed up because you want to look a certain way, right?
Yeah.
So you just need to, for lack of better words, nut up and just do it. So
Yeah, that's true. I think too, yeah, coaches are kind of they're kind of the experts too. So you kind of,
they're
yeah.
going to need to do to make you your best. So jumping from coach to coach is not going to make you any better. You
Yeah, that's true. That's really good advice, actually.
I tell people, I'm like, pick a coach and stick with them. You're
Yeah,
not perfect right away. It's going to take time. It took me how many years to get to where I'm at? Freaking 10 plus years.
yeah, yeah.
Want like 2 months and then they want to be on the Olympia stage. It's like, no, it doesn't work like it took
Yeah,
me forever. So,
yeah, no, it takes a lot of hard work for sure. And bodybuilding's such an all-encompassing sport too. You just gotta be really dedicated and yeah. I don't think I can do it personally. I'm a little bit lazy and but I'll do this podcast and I'll contribute that way.
yeah.
Um, I was curious if you could talk a little bit about owning your own gym, and is it tough to run Be Strong Powerhouse is the name while juggling your bodybuilding career, or is it kind
um,
of work out because you can work out and work and at the same time?
yeah. And my husband actually manages and does 100% of everything. I really don't. I mean, I go there and train, and when I'm not prepping for a show, I take clients. I have online clients as well currently because that's
Okay.
stuff I can do from home. Uh,
Yeah,
when I'm deep in prep, I don't take on extra one-on-one clients just because I need to focus on me. But as far as the business side of things, my husband handles 100% of it, and then we have a couple employees that are very huge in helping us out as well.
that's terrific. Yeah,
So I really don't have much stress as far as dealing with the business side of things. It's totally handled.
That's great. That's terrific. Yeah.
My husband's
Um,
always been a businessman his whole life, so that's his niche, and he's very good at it.
how long have y'all had the gym or owned the gym?
The original location we opened in 2017, and then we opened a second location during COVID, so that was 2020.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
y'all managed okay during COVID or?
Yeah, we stayed open at that location the entire time.
Wow.
It's out of city limits, so we didn't have much trouble with the police.
Mhm.
Our original location, you better believe the city police came and shut us down, and it
Mhm.
was a nightmare.
Really?
We ended up
Wow.
having to go to the gym for a month, and then we moved probably 2 trailer loads of equipment to our house.
Wow.
We've got a long patio outside, and then the garage. So we ended up filling the whole patio plus the backyard and the garage with a bunch of equipment, and we let everybody come to our house during certain hours of the day. It was
Wow.
easy, but it worked out, and we didn't lose any members, and everybody was happy. And oh, it was a time I'll never forget. We'll say.
I bet your members appreciated that. At least
Oh
have.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm in Florida. It seems like the gyms open relatively quickly again in Florida, but I think we open everything quicker than the rest of the country did, it seemed like. So,
yeah. Even
yeah.
when we opened the original location after that month, we still had to like keep it on the down low. We were telling people not to park in front of the building. We had all the windows covered so you couldn't see in.
Oh, no, really?
Like if
Wow.
cops freaking don't come and open the door, just wait until they're gone. Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's a pain. Yeah. It's memorable though. You won't forget that.
2020 is a time we will not ever forget.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man. Um, Now I was curious in terms of these next few questions are about competing in bodybuilding. Would you consider moving up to the women's bodybuilding division? Because I think you have the size and shape needed for it, but I'm just curious if you've considered it.
I have, and it's always in the back of my mind. But judging wise, they keep placing me in the top call out. I mean,
Yeah.
their feedback is always that I'm riding that thin line of being too big for women's physique or too muscular.
Mhm.
Uh, but as long as they keep placing me in that top call out, then I have what they're looking for in that division. So I
That's
don't
true.
I don't plan to move up unless I'm told by the judges that you've crossed that line and you need to step up.
Yeah, totally understand that. That makes sense. Yeah. Unfortunately, some of the promoters, like the Arnold Classic promoters, are dropping women's physique and women's bodybuilding from their shows. And I'm just curious, what's your take on that? I just worry, there won't be many shows left for these divisions to compete in if they keep it up, which
It's
is
unfortunate.
unfortunate.
Of course, I don't agree with it. I don't think any girls that compete in our divisions agree with it. But you know what? They're just they're losing more money, in
Hmm.
my opinion.
Yeah, by not having it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Because yeah, there's a lot of fans like myself, that
Not
follow and
wants to see bikini. There are people that want to see muscle. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. And the bikini girls are a little too thin and all kind of look the same too.
Yeah, it's like I know they're a huge selling point for shows. I get it, but at the same time, us women's physique and bodybuilders put in a ton of work to get to where
Yeah,
we're at. We should be. I don't know why they keep taking us away from shows.
yeah, I know. I hope maybe some more promoters will step up and fill those gaps,
Yeah.
that are left by Arnold Classic and Omaha Pro, like dropping women's bodybuilding recently, just
Mm.
yeah, it's disappointing as a fan to see that,
Yeah.
but yeah. Um, Now you're married to a bodybuilder, Rafe Tyke. Has he helped you coach you and kind of push you for the great gains that you've achieved?
He pushes me in the gym, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I do have a programming her name is Susan Salazar. She's also a very high level power lifter. She's also an IFBB pro. Hasn't competed on the bodybuilding stage in many years, but she is a pro bodybuilder as well. She does my programming. When I train in the gym, I'll do my program, but my husband will push me, make sure I'm not just doing easy weights. So
yeah, I see him in your videos sometimes, and he'll help you and spot you and stuff too.
So he's like, oh, 5 more pounds. You got 10 more pounds. Like he knows what I'm capable of. So yes, he's very good at pushing me. And
that's terrific. That's great. Yeah, it's good to have that support for sure. Yeah.
Working on trying to get his pro card. He's giving it hell.
What division is he competing in?
He'll be a super heavy when he does his. I think he wants to do nationals next year.
Okay.
2023. He's being coached by Blue Taylor. He just started with him probably right before the North Americans. It was like 3 weeks before the North Americans. He hired Blue as his coach, and he really likes Blue, and they mesh well together. So we're hoping to bring a totally new look to the stage for him, 2023 nationals. And in the past, he was a heavyweight. I think he got down to like 215, 210, somewhere around there. But he sits around 270, 280 right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
He looked like a person, and he doesn't like to be that small. His body doesn't want to be that small. So with Blue as his coach, I think now the plan is to keep him bigger, harder, fuller, and keep that size on him. So he'll compete.
That's terrific. That's great. Yeah, definitely. We'll keep an eye out for him for next year. Yeah. I was curious in terms of what feedback are you getting from judges about where to improve your physique? I don't think you need much improvements, but I'm sure. Have you gotten feedback from the judges?
I have, and they really don't tell me much other than I'm riding that thin line of having to switch over to women's bodybuilding.
Okay.
That's legitimately that's what I was told at Texas. That's what I was told at Arizona.
Sure.
Sandy did tell me at Arizona that my back could use more depth.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Interpret that, because when I look at my back compared to the other backs up there, I don't even know what to say. So I'm not sure if she was getting up with somebody else or what, but I've never heard that before other than that one. So
yeah, your back looks pretty amazing. And your lats, I think your lats have really improved a lot too.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I was curious, this is going to be kind of miscellaneous questions for the end, but what would you do to improve the sport of bodybuilding, and how would you make the sport better if you were in a leadership position at IFBB or NPC?
Biggest thing in my opinion is judging. So I feel, I know this is probably never ever going to happen, but I always think about it. I think females should be judging females, but they should be females that have competed in that division. So
yeah.
Bikini girls judging bikini girls, physique, like past physique pros judging physique pros, instead of having, female judges judging the men's open that have only competed in bikini.
Yeah, I understand. I
feel like it'd be much more fair and more straight across the board if we had people who competed in that division at a high level, at the pro level, and are now retired. If we could have them judging us.
Yeah, I understand. That would be more consistent too with the judging, I think.
More consistent it would be, because judging is all over the place. What they're going to be looking for at any given show.
I know, and that makes it tough on competitors. I know it's a subjective sport, but there's supposed to be certain criteria that they're supposed to follow.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I understand that. I was curious. We talked about your being a jail nurse, but would you? And we talked a little bit about juggling it with your career. But when you were working full time in that, was that kind of tough to juggle your bodybuilding career? Because I imagine, like you mentioned, working nights and just maybe the stress of the job itself, you know.
Yeah, the hardest part was switching from days to nights and just trying to get back on a normal schedule on my days off. Because of course I come home in the morning, it's 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I try to take a nap for 3, 4 hours, get up, then I feel exhausted still, and then
Yeah.
try to cardio and go train and then go to back to sleep that night, but I'm still awake till 2 o'clock in the morning. And then my poor husband's trying to stay on my schedule so that we can spend time together. So he's staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning. And
Oh no.
so,
That's tough. Yeah, that's probably not good. Like even health wise to have your sleep kind of messed up like that or not
yeah,
on a consistent sleep schedule. Yeah.
realized I've been a nurse for 12 years. I never realized in all those 12 years of working nights what it was doing to me
Mm.
mentally, emotionally. So,
I bet it, yeah, like you said, taking this break now and getting ready for the Olympia this way has got to help a lot.
yeah, it's been
Yeah,
huge.
that's great. Um, I was curious, like, what's kind of the craziest incident you've ever had at work with the inmates? Or I know you do intakes too, or maybe
Yeah,
that's the primary thing is intakes, but what's
I
like
do.
kind of craziest you've had?
I do intake, but I was doing charge once a week on one of the days where the other two nurses were off. Anyhow, gosh, we see crazy stuff all the time.
I bet.
I mean, people come in swallowing pills. They have things shoved up places where they shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I had a guy with a nail polish bottle in his butt.
Oh.
I've had people. I've had a guy. He had a bunch of EKG leads all over him from the fire department, like the
Uh-huh.
chest lead stickers for the heart monitor.
Yeah.
So they bring him in and do the search process, and they go to pull the stickers off. Well, he's got fentanyl pills, tons of fentanyl pills under every single patch.
Oh my gosh.
Trying to smuggle the drugs in because I mean, every day, literally for this, the past year probably, and I'm not even exaggerating, every day we have an overdose.
Really? Wow.
Fentanyl has been in that facility. And
Mm.
then just had 2 escapes within the last month. I've been off, thank God, but um, and they weren't like hard escapes, like where they had to, the inmates had to do anything crazy. They just walked out of the building because the door was open.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and
Wow.
I'm pretty sure both of them are still at large. So
I was curious
uh,
if you kind of missed the adrenaline from that because I
yeah, and then we see lots of dog bite, canine bites, because people try to run from the cops. Well, you're never going to outrun a dog. So
no.
words of words from me: don't try to run because you will not get far and you will be torn to pieces.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. Wow. Do you now that you're not working there full time, do you kind of miss that kind of excitement though? That because I think you can get kind of hooked on that kind of work excitement at an environment like that.
Right. I do, but at the same time, oh, I feel so much more relaxed not having to even think about going to work.
Yeah, I understand.
I do the stupidity that we would see every night because it's entertaining, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't be boring at least.
Yeah, there is never a dull moment there.
I bet. Yeah, very cool. Thank you.
Hmm.
I was just curious, there's this new Built and Broken investigative series from the Washington Post. I was just curious about your opinion or your take on that.
I really don't have much input there, to be honest. I mean, I've heard about it, but I haven't done my own looking into the whole situation. So,
Sure, I understand. That's cool. Yeah. I just have one more quick question for you. Is there anything that I should have asked you but neglected to ask that you'd like to talk about?
I don't think so. I think we've pretty much covered a good majority of how I got to where I am and where I started and where I'm going.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and best wishes to you at the Olympia. I think you're gonna kick butt over there, so I'm excited about it.
Thank you. I'm super excited too. Like, I can't believe it's only 15 days away. It It seems real, but not that real.
I know it's coming up soon. I kind of wish it was in Orlando again. Maybe next year we'll
I've
bring
heard
it back.
that next year is going to be back there, but we'll see. I haven't got any confirmed information, but
Yeah, at
the,
least you can drive from where you are in Tucson at least to Las Vegas, or
yeah,
that's
that's
cool.
my is we're just going to load up my truck and take my truck there. I'll have everything I could ever need.
Yeah.
The hard part about flying is I have to limit what I bring, but yeah, Vegas is about, I think, like a 7 hour drive for us, more or less.
Not too bad. Yeah, I think it's nice to be able to drive and not have jet lag and stuff too. So yeah. Um, I was curious, would you do a quick flex for me?
Yeah,
Very cool. Wow, you look awesome.
thank
You're
you.
going to do great. Well, thank you so much for being on this interview with me. I really appreciate it. I'm going to include your IG and the one for your gym and for Shelby. And I think, does Rafe has IG also?
He does.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure to include him too.
His name, I believe, at Rafe Teich.
Yeah, I think I've seen it before. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Melissa, and best wishes to you in like 15 days.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.